Good morning, guys. We're going to talk a little bit about fractions and labeling fractions and how to put them on a number line. That's going to help you with your Canvas work today. So I know y'all remember how to just label a set of fractions, so we're going to just do that really quickly and then we're going to move into some of the harder stuff. Okay, so when you have a shape, remember you have your numerator and your denominator. Your numerator is the area shaded and your denominator is the total number of pieces. So for the circle, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 total pieces, so that's my denominator. And 1, 2, 3 of those are shaded. So this fraction is represented by 3/4. Okay, same thing over here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces in this fraction, so that's my denominator. And 3 of those pieces are shaded, so that fraction is represented by 3/6. Okay, we should know how to do that. We do that a lot on our DOL in our morning work. So now we're going to move on to the next set of questions. On Canvas, you're going to need to complete Thursday's work since we didn't have school yesterday, and then you have some work for today. Okay, so Sam bought a candy bar. He ate 3/5 of it. Which strip diagram is shaded to represent the fraction of the candy bar Sam did not eat? So this is a tricky question, guys. It's not asking how much he did eat. We know that he ate 3/5. Okay, it tells us in the question 3/5. It wants to know how much he did not eat. Okay, so which strip diagram is shaded to represent the fraction of the candy bar Sam did not eat? And not is our keyword here. So if he ate 3 pieces, so let's draw our own candy bar here. Okay, we know that our denominator is 5, so he broke this candy bar into 5 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And he ate 3/5, so we're going to shade in 3 of those. 1, 2, 3. Okay? But the question wants to know how much of the fraction did he not eat. So that's really important. So he did not eat this piece right here or this piece. So what fraction is represented by those pieces? Okay, well I know there's still 5 pieces of the candy bar. That does not change. Our denominator does not change. Okay, but here I'm showing 2 pieces that he did not eat, which would make it 2/5. So which one of these shows 2/5? It's B. Okay, A is representing how much he did eat. That's our original fraction. So that was a trick question there. So you easily could have chosen A because that's showing how much he did eat of the candy bar. But this question is asking how much he did not eat. So that would be the leftover pieces, which would be the 2/5. Okay? So make sure when you're on Canvas you are reading that question carefully. Some of them might ask for how much he did eat, and some of them might ask how much he did not eat. So look for that keyword not in the question. Alright, the next question, which fraction is not a unit fraction? So we haven't talked about unit fractions in a few weeks. Okay? Remember, a unit fraction is represented by a 1 in the numerator. So 1/2, 1/3, 1/4. Okay, a unit is 1. So whenever you see a unit fraction, there's always going to be a 1 represented in the numerator. So which of these is not a unit fraction? Which of these does not have a 1 in the numerator? Okay, we have a 3, we have a 1, 1, and 1. So we know 3/6 is not a unit fraction. And again, that question was asking for the not. Alright, next question. Julie bought a box of donuts. The model represents the donuts with sprinkles and without sprinkles. Okay, so how many total donuts do we have here? We have 6 donuts. We have 1, 2, 3 without sprinkles, and we have 1, 2, 3 with sprinkles. Which expression represents the fraction of donuts in the box that have sprinkles? Okay, so here's our donuts that have sprinkles. We have 3 out of 6. Okay, and what they've done here is they've taken this fraction and broken it into unit fractions. If you'll notice, all of these have a 1 in the numerator, just like a unit fraction does. So if we add these fractions, 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6. Remember, when you're adding fractions, you only add the top number. I get 3/6. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3, and my denominator stays the same. If I add these fractions, 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3, and my denominator stays the same, which is 3. Which of these fractions shows the fraction from above? It's A. Now, the most important thing up here, guys, is to know the fraction represented up here to match it down here, okay? There are 6 total donuts, so I know my numerator is 6. Don't get mixed up and only count the ones that have sprinkles, okay? Because then you'll get mixed up with your denominator. The ones with sprinkles is your numerator, and then you have your total donuts. So you need to make sure you get the right fraction the first time. Which fraction does not represent a unit fraction? So we're back at unit fractions, and it wants to know which one does not. So we're going to label these. 1, 2, 3. I have 3 total pieces, and 1 is shaded. So that is a unit fraction. 1 is in my numerator. But I want to know which one does not represent a unit fraction. Here I have 2 pieces, so that is my denominator, and one of those pieces is shaded, so I have 1/2. Right here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I have 5 pieces, and one of those pieces is shaded, which also represents a unit fraction. Now look at C. I clearly have 3 pieces here, okay? But the most important thing in a fraction is that they are equal parts. Notice how all these triangles are equal. Okay, these 2 triangles are equal. All of these triangles are equal. When they broke up this rectangle, they are all different sizes. So even though you have 1 shaded, they're not all the same size, so that cannot be represented by unit fraction. And again, we're looking for which one does not. All of your pieces have to be equal. So remember that when you're looking at fractions. If they're not equal, it doesn't even represent a fraction. There's no fraction that goes with this because this is not equal. Okay? The figure is shaded to represent the amount of pizza Josh and Andy ate. If they ate the same amount of pizza, what fraction of the pizza did each child eat? So let's count our pieces here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 pieces. Okay, so I have 8 total pieces. Now, we have Josh and Andy. So we have 2 people. Okay, so let's draw Josh. We have Josh right here, and we have Andy right here. Now, we want them to have the same amount of pizza each. So we have 8 pieces to get to them. Okay, if they ate the same amount of pizza, what fraction of the pizza did each child eat? Notice I have each in my question, which means I'm going to divide. So guys, remember with fractions a lot of the time you are dividing. Okay, so I'm dividing my 8 pieces into my 2 people. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So each of these people, Josh has 4 slices and Andy has 4 slices. So that means Josh has 4 out of the 8 pieces because I have 8 total pieces. And Andy has 4 out of the 8 pieces. So our answer here is B. Remember to look for those keywords, guys. Each is telling you to divide. So here you're just dividing 8 pieces. Okay, I know there's 8, and I have Josh and Andy, my 2 people, and so they're each going to get 4 pieces. Alright, Coach Cal ordered baseballs for his friends. He shared all the baseballs equally between himself, Steve, and Bill. So I have 3 people here. What fraction of the baseballs will each person receive? Again, I have each in my question, which means I'm going to divide. Okay? Now again, remember when we have a picture, we count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 6 baseballs, and I'm dividing them by my 3 people. Okay? So here's my 3 people, and I'm going to give them a baseball until I run out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I only have 6 baseballs. So each person got 2 baseballs. So now we need to talk about the fraction that's represented. Okay? So he got 2 baseballs out of 6. Steve got 2 baseballs out of 6. And Bill got 2 baseballs out of 6. So they all got 2/6. Right. Okay, we're going to talk about fractions on a number line really quickly because that's your work for today. All right. Okay, so remember when you see a number line, a fraction on a number line, and it's always going to be between 0 and 1. That's how you know it's a fraction. And the question says, what fraction does the basketball represent? Okay, so I'm going to start at my 0 and I'm going to count. Remember, we do our arches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to label those to show what I counted. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 7 parts on this number line. Don't forget to start with your 0. Okay? So now we're going to count our fractions. I have 0/7, 1/7. We've done this before, guys, so this should look familiar. 2/7, 3/7, and I'm just counting up. 4/7, 5/7, 6/7, and then remember 7/7 equals 1 whole. So at the end you should have 2 matching numbers in your numerator and your denominator, and you know that's what matches your whole. So our basketball is represented by 2/7. Alright, same thing here. Jose drives his car to work every day and stops for breakfast on his way. Point A on the number line shows where he stops for breakfast. Which fraction represents where he stops for breakfast on his way to work? So point A is right here. So again, we're going to count these parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to label that in my number line. So I have 4 parts. So I'm going to start with my 0. 0/4. 1/4, 2/4, 2/4, 3/4, and I know I'm doing it right when I end with the same number on the top and the bottom. 4/4 equals 1 whole. So A is represented by 1/4. Okay, so that's all you have to do, guys. When you see a number line, first thing you need to do is label it. Count your arches, label those, and then add your denominators. All right. Larson walks half a mile to school every day. The number line represents the distance of 1 mile. So this number line right here shows 1 mile. On which number line does point B represent the distance Larson walks to school every day. So we have two number lines here, and of course, even in our answer, if we have number lines in our answer choices, we label them. And we're looking for half a mile. So this one goes all the way to point B, and this one goes to point B right here. And we want to figure out which one shows 1/2. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4 parts here, so I know my denominator is 4. 0/4, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and I know I'm doing my number line right because I ended with the same number in my numerator and my denominator, 4/4. Okay, so here on the answer choice A, I'm represented by 1/4. Now I'm looking for 1/2. Okay, so let's look at B. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one also has 4 parts. So again, my numerator is, my denominator is 4. 0/4, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4 equals 1/2. Okay, so this one is represented by 2/4. Now, you notice neither one of these is showing 1/2. Okay, that's because one of these fractions is also a half. Now, we've talked about halves a lot, especially when we're doing graphs. We've talked about how half of 2 is 1 because 1 plus 1 is 2. Half of 4 is 2 because 2 plus 2 is 4. And half of 6 is 3 because 3 plus 3 is 6. And then again, half of 8 is 4 because 4 plus 4 is 8. So if you look here at your denominators, both of these denominators are a 4. Okay? Well, look at your number line. Okay, if you were to fold this number line in half, remember 1/2, that's how you say half, half. So like you're cutting something in half, right? You're cutting it down the middle. Which of these stops at the halfway point? Well, if I fold this number line here, that's not half because this side is a lot smaller than this side. If I fold this number line in half, they're equal. And I know half of 4 is 2/4. So 2/4 is a half. So here, look here, 1/2, right? 1 and 2. 2, my 2 here, and my 4, that's also a half. If I take my 3 and I take my 6, that is also a half. If I take my 4 and I take my 8, that is also a half. Think about 5. What would have to be my denominator if I have a 5? Well, I know 5 plus 5 is 10. Half of 10 is 5, 5/10. So those are all fractions represented by a half. You want to be able to cut that number line in half and it be in the middle. So our answer is B. All right, that is all for our lesson today. Make sure in Canvas you show your work. You should have your journal out showing your work on every single question. Okay, guys? Have a good day and have a safe weekend. Bye.